Welcome to the Real Estate Podcast.
This is where you will get smart tactics and strategies to accelerate your business.
And where we share top agent secrets and stories that will help all of us be better at our profession and serve our clients better. And we're your hosts, Todd Sumney
And Rich LaRue.
Let's get into the episode. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on the Real Estate Podcast. I am Todd Sumney, and I have a special guest, which I will introduce in a moment. But I want to remind you, what's the purpose of the Real Estate Podcast? The purpose of the Real Estate Podcast is to help all of us as professionals in real estate get better at our profession and to actually grow in our skills, grow in our knowledge. Most importantly, to enable us to serve more customers, help more buyers and sellers. Right now, buyers and sellers, they're both facing some hurdles. They need people to help remove those hurdles, overcome obstacles, and help them buy and sell and meet their real estate goals. And the reason I start with that setup is that's the intention of our phone call today and our podcast, rather, with our special guest, Dave Panozzo from the Panozzo team.
Thank you for having me today.
I am so excited that you are here.
This is going to be good.
If I need some energy in the middle of the day and I want somebody to pump me up and actually go get after it, or someone to hold me accountable, I call Dave.
Let's go, baby.
And
come on.
He's like, come on, let's do it. Really, honestly. And set you a little credibility here. Dave and his wife, Kim.
Yes.
They are one of the top teams in the entire nation, meaning that they help more buyers and sellers throughout the year, and they are continually in the 1, 2, and 3. So it's not, and I know what your goal is this year.
Trying to go after that one position.
There you go.
Dion, I'm coming for you.
And it's not about the numbers of being number one, but it's more about helping more buyers and sellers.
Yeah.
But also, because you're a team leader, it's about helping more agents succeed. Yeah. And even growing your team from a standpoint of helping other agents be successful, like Kim has been, like you have been, and teaching your knowledge. Because every time I have coffee with you, every time I talk with you, I learn something about being a better real estate professional.
Yeah.
And how you impart that to your agents. We were having coffee one day and you were like, no, don't talk about that. No, you don't want to talk. This is what your customer cares about. This is what they want to know. Yeah. This is what you need to do. So cut that out. And I teach my agents to cut that out. So that's why I invited Dave to be here today. So the topics that we're going to cover, we're going to talk, number one, about if you're an agent, an individual agent, and you're thinking about joining a team, what should you be looking for from a team leader? Mm-hmm. What should you expect from your team leader? Knowing that all teams are different and have different strategies, different things. He's just going to give his point of view. But it's about what should you expect and how should a team be making you better? How should a team be helping you help more customers, more buyers, more sellers as well? And then additionally, after we talk about that, we're going to talk about this summer of 2025, the fall of 2025, going into 2026, what should agents be doing right now if they do want to increase the number of home buyers and home sellers that they're helping transact? How do you get more transactions done? How do you overcome some of those obstacles?
We have a lot to unpack.
I know. So
there's
it's really
lot.
Those two major camps and a lot of little mini things within them. But I just kind of wanted to set the stage. So they made the commitment to listen to this podcast, because I think this is going to be one of the ones you're going to listen to, rewind, and go implement what you hear.
All right, so we're going to jump into on the solo agent side?
Yeah, let's jump in. Yeah.
Okay.
You're a solo agent. You're thinking about joining a team. What do you look for? What should you expect?
Okay, so
how's it going to benefit
So we're going
you?
to do you're thinking about a team.
Yeah.
That aspect.
Yeah.
Okay. So here's a couple things. Number one, my background goes way back. Started in sales in 1993. So I've been around. I've learned different versions of what was the latest and greatest in sales at the time, okay? And what's crazy is, back in the early 90s, it was all about rapport building, and you got to get the customer to like you before you can even ask for the sale. Now we're battling the AI thing. Like, oh, AI is going to do it all. I don't have to do anything. I just have to go to the bank and cash my check. So we're in these two worlds, because the other day I was looking at a recent study. I think the average age now of a realtor, do you know what it is?
It's dropping, right?
No, I saw 57 years old is the average age of a realtor.
I should have guessed, but I was somewhere around there, okay.
Because I thought, because I've been quoting, it's 52, so somehow it went up. Okay, so
All
kind of
right.
interesting, right?
Okay,
So
interesting.
So again, I'm 57, so this is where we're starting to see there's older people in our industry. So think about it; they all have that old school mindset, and then you have the new kids that are coming in. Social media, AI. So we have like a battle of the worlds right now.
Right.
Okay, old versus new, and old technology, new technology. So I think right now, if you're out there, are we doing the team thing or which way are you?
We're talking to agents right now about what to be looking for in a team, and more importantly, what to expect, and what are the pros and cons about being an individual agent. An individual agent, you're not sharing your compensation with anyone.
Correct.
On a team, there are other team members that need compensated and make up part of it. Each team is built differently. But in a sense, but also the trade-off then that you get for that, and even the setting you up for success. And that's why I love your team members join your team and they stay.
Yeah.
And they stay and they stay and they stay, which means they're getting value and they can be doing more collectively together than 100% separately.
Because I watched Kim.
That's what I'm trying to unpack.
So I watched my wife as a solo agent for 14 years, what she went through.
Right.
Unbelievable. Okay. I had to talk her off a ledge every other week because she would go through the highs and the lows, and she worked from home. And so if you're working from home and have that feeling of like, I'm missing something, I need to be around other people. Oh, I'm going to go work at Starbucks. That doesn't get it. Like, you have to have a sense of community. Okay. And we've gone through a couple cycles here of like COVID made everyone kind of hide out. And now, the rates went up and, just all this turmoil, so to speak, of uncertainty. Well, I don't know about you, but when I'm by myself and I get this spun up and I start thinking, what happens?
Right.
Okay. Yeah. No one's walking around my house going, "Hey, Dave, you seem a little down today. What's going on?"
Right.
Where that's the difference when you have a team. Okay. So you're looking for a sense of community. You're looking for a group of people that not only does the team leader hold you accountable, but the other people around you. And so that's where I find our culture is much different, is the fact that we want to pump each other up, okay? There's enough to go around for everyone. Like, if everyone wanted to sell 100 homes this year and every agent in town put that on their goal list.
Right. Well,
there's enough to go around.
Well, I'm even going to put it out there too. I think that your team members are stretching themselves a little bit by meaning accountability. When you're joining a team, to a certain degree, there's a little bit of accountability, even for showing up and doing the work.
Correct.
And for being there, and so meaning that. If you just don't show up, and then it's like somebody, I'm a big fan of mentorship, right? And a big fan of a mentor also pushing you, challenging you. It's going to make you better. It's the same reason why people hire personal trainers at the gym. It's not necessarily that they can't go to the different machines and know how to work the different muscles. It's really somebody saying, no, you can do 2 more. Don't leave right now. You got 3 more sets. Do 2 more. Stay and make 10 more phone calls. I know you just had a phone call that's going the wrong way right now. There's 2 things we can do. You can just leave and go home and start watching TV on your couch. We can pick up the phone and we can solve the problem.
100%.
And we can also call some other people.
Right.
And I think that's what I get excited about when I see what you're building with your team.
Well, here's the thing. Like,
Am I on point?
You're on point,
Okay,
because here's the
all right.
thing. There's $10 a month gyms, right?
Right.
Now, I'm physically fit. Okay, I do work out. Guess what?
Making me feel bad.
I
here.
don't spend $10 a month. I spend a lot more for a personal trainer, because I know, and I've gone off the rails a couple times where I'm like, I'm not going to do it. I can go on my own, and I fail. So I know you pay for accountability. What has that done for me? Well, it's kept me physically fit, strong, my mind's right, I feel right, and that pours into my business. So the same thing goes when you're on a team. Yes, you want someone to hold yourself accountable, okay? Because if they don't, you won't. And guess what? You all lose. So for us, we want the agents to have flexibility. Like, I am not creating a 8 to 5 business inside real estate, okay? So for us, they get to come in a couple times a week. We have a team meeting on Monday, and then we have trainings for newer agents on Wednesday, and then on Thursday, it's a high-level training, okay? Those are the 3 times they're required to be in the office, okay? Now, if they have a hot listing appointment or something going on, absolutely, you don't have to be there. But you should also schedule around that, because of some of the information that we go over is, again, like, it's those basic things that you need to hear that are good reminders, because we can all get back to the basics on that. And so for us, we want the agents to have the flexibility, because that's why everyone gets into real estate.
No, it is.
Because
It is.
the other day I did a survey. I did a little quick survey. We had 15 people in training, and I'm like, how many are on their first career? No one raised their hand. How about second career? Nobody raised their hand. Third career? 2 hands. Fourth career, 5 more hands go up. How about your 6th? So again, everybody is from some different walk of life.
Right.
And it's crazy. And they're all in real estate.
Right. Well, and the beauty of that is they're bringing different experiences, different knowledge sets, different, right, that they're bringing.
Or they're bringing bad habits.
They could be.
See?
Yeah.
And so there's a little bit of all this.
Well, that's why you're a personal trainer when you're talking about you getting more results, because the personal trainer actually, they're not harping on you. They're not doing everything. But if you're doing an exercise wrong, I hope they're coming up behind you. No, straighten your back, make it go all the way to the bottom. Otherwise, you're not getting the full, of the expertise.
Range of motion, whatever.
So they're by observing, listening, hearing, whatever they're doing, they're helping you achieve more of what you want to achieve, because you've invited them into your life to help make minor corrections to help you get better. So, like, I'm sure with your agents, you sometimes hear a phone call and you don't say anything. And maybe there's other times you hear a phone call and you're like, hey, let's dig into that. Let's talk a little bit.
See, what drives my team crazy is I'm like, what could you have done better?
I know where that's coming from.
What could you have done better?
That's good, right.
What could you have done better?
It makes but it makes them self-ask.
Again, it's you kind of do like this half-ass thing.
Right.
And it's like, well, it went good. No, what could have made it better?
Right.
Because see, once you start leveling up to this point of every single call, every time you shake someone's hand, every time you meet a client for the first time, once you start to level your game up, oh my God, then all of a sudden things really, really change. And I've seen that over the years with people where it's not like they fight me on it, okay? It's because they don't know. And here's the thing, Todd, when someone doesn't know something, what do? They don't do it because they don't know what to do.
Correct.
And so you have to kind of like crack the mind open a little bit and let that goodness seep in there so that they start to understand what needs to be done. And I will tell you this, some of the greatest salespeople make the worst coaches. Okay? Like,
sure.
It is very difficult to break down exactly what you do. No different than some of these guys that basketball players or football players that, they go make their coaching debut and they literally just get wrecked. They get wrecked.
Right.
And why is that? You would think, oh my God, well, this guy's a great player. How come he can't coach?
Right.
Because it takes an extra layer of understanding people. at a high level.
Right.
At a very high level.
Yeah.
You know what you deal with? I mean,
I do,
you know.
but that's what we're trying to unpack here today, and that's what I'm glad we're talking about, because I think that's what benefits agents on your team as well as on other teams. Because it, at the end of the day, they might make a joke about it, like, what could you have done better? Oh, here we go again, or whatever, or give you a hard time. Why do you always ask me that question or whatever? But then late at night, they're like grateful. And the next time that they are better, they're grateful. And then a year later, they're grateful because they look back and they see where they were and where they are today, and they're at a place that they couldn't have gotten to on their own. Am I saying
no?
things correctly?
Okay, so here's how it works.
Yeah.
The wanting better, okay? And again, I think it's because I played sports, I was in the military, I was a solo agent, I've done a lot of things, had failures, just, train wreck stuff, and I've had some successes, okay?
Yeah.
Every single time I've gotten a little better. And so by saying to someone, what could you have done just one thing better? It could be 1%, it could be 0.5%. As long as they know what they could have done better, they'll do it the next time, and then there'll be something else on top of it. And then and I can tell when people take it personal, I'm like, I'd say something like, Todd, this is not a personal attack on you. This is about the business of real estate. So let's divide the two in half. And sometimes I find that, they get a little, they get their feathers ruffled, and I'm like, listen, you told me the goals that you set, this is what you want because of your family, because of what you want to prove to them, that you're the father, you're the mother, and that you have worth and that you can do this. By the way, if you look in your online bank account right now, are you pleased with what you see, or are you disgusted? Because if you're disgusted, then you need to do this one notch better. And again, if you're not satisfied with what's going on in your real estate world, look in your bank account, pull it up right now. Look in there. What's the feeling that you get when you see your bank account? That's the hard truth. Okay. Right. Now, I'm not saying we're putting the money ahead of the clients, but at the end of the day, we are 1099 employees. Mm-hmm. We get paid off of our efforts. And if you're not putting the effort in on working on yourself and working on the business, then you're going to have results where you're going to be unhappy.
So what do you as a team leader look for in an agent?
A couple different things. So number one, are they growth-minded or fixed-minded type mindset? Okay. Fixed mindset is when you suggest something and they're like, that won't work. Growth mindset is when someone goes, oh, now explain that a little more, or can you break that down? It's like, they're open-minded to it. Okay. That's definitely one thing that I'm very curious in, especially from the beginning. And then also too, like the energy and effort, they have to bring that. And I'm not talking Red Bull energy. I'm talking about they have purpose, they have energy, they're bringing it to the table. Okay. If they don't have that, it's really hard to get someone to that next level if that is lacking from the get-go.
Right. Okay.
It's hard.
Right. So someone has those two things, but they naturally want more. So they're coming to the team. How do you begin? How do you start?
Well, that's where everyone wants it overnight. Okay, and this is an endurance race. This is the intestinal fortitude of putting in the work day in, day out, and not getting any results at the beginning. Okay, let's face it. Like, I remember when I first got in this business, Kim did not show me any love. She wasn't like, oh, hey, here's one of my clients, go show him some houses. Like, she made me from zero. From zero. I'm like, God.
That's great.
Okay.
That's good.
So I had to go through it.
Did it make you better?
100%. Of course.
That's the thing. That's
of course.
Because no one loves it while they're going through it.
No. Do I love working out every day at 5:30 in the morning? No, I don't. I would rather be sleeping in. But when someone says, Dave, man, you look great for as old as you are, that's priceless.
Right.
Remember the last time I saw you, I said, Todd, what are you doing, dude? You're looking good. You're like, well, I'm like, it shows. So why can't we do that with our clients?
Totally. Yes.
Because we come up, and I see this, and it drives me so crazy. Agents will come up to clients at an open house or whatever, and they're like Mopey Joe and blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Do I want to work with someone like that?
Right.
No.
Right.
Just showing up and putting a smile on your face and having a clean shirt, like that goes a long way.
Well, last week I was at a conference, a real estate conference, the Inman Connect conference in San Diego. They had John Acuff, a great goal setter, speaker, mindset podcast, I believe, some books. But he was talking about especially talking to the generation right now that might be struggling to buy homes. And he was talking about the talk track of, I'll never be able to buy a home. I can't afford a home. And our job as the professionals is to show them the benefits of owning versus renting.
Right.
And then trying to help them and show them the way. But it starts with our mindset. Because if we buy into that too, you don't want to help at that point, right? If you buy into that, they'll never be able to afford a home. That's not the way our business it should be.
Well, and let's face it, some of the newer agents or people that have been around, and I'm not banging on the renters right now, but I'm sure there's a majority of agents out there that are renting, which is totally okay and normal.
Sure.
But here they're renting, but they're telling someone, you need to go buy, and here's why. And I think in their mind, it contradicts because it's not coming from the heart. It's coming from what was told to them from some seminar they saw or some podcast or something that was on Instagram of here's the top 3 reasons of why you should buy today. Right. And so now they're turning around spitting that out, and it's kind of like they feel like they're lying because they themselves are renting.
Correct. But if you do believe it, like what John Acuff was saying was, he said, instead of the talk track of you'll never be able to afford a home or you can't, it's basically like, I believe that you can. My job is to help you find the right one that you can afford, one that you want to purchase. And but if that's your desire, I want to help you do it. I want to help you do that, and we're gonna work together. We're gonna overcome obstacles, right? And we're gonna find one that you can afford, that you love, that you can own.
And
right?
see, and again, agents have to be comfortable though in being able to have those conversations.
Right.
And that is one of the hardest things right now because there is a lack of communication in the world, number one, okay, just because of the way things are done. Everything's text message and emojis and all that stuff. So the actual art form of having a conversation has really gone to the wayside. And so, to have a conversation with someone about one of the biggest financial assets that they're going to be a part of, to sit down and map that out of what that looks like, literally doing like almost like a whiteboard type of conversation with someone. Right. I find agents get a little freaked out. They get a little scared. They get a little hesitant because maybe like, oh, what if I say something wrong? No, you don't understand. You're having a conversation and just finding out what their needs and wants are and where they're at in life and what that bigger picture looks like. And it's like, hey, if we could make that come true, is that something that you would want to do?
Right.
Well, or yeah, I do. Okay, great. Let me get you over to our lender. Maybe we'll go look at a couple houses to see what matches up what you've been seeing online. Because if you've been shopping online, it's like trying to buy shoes online. It's like they look really good, but until you put them on, you're like, oh my God, these hurt my feet, right?
Right.
The same goes with homes. So again, I think with agents in today's world, listen, you got to be open-minded. You have to have that growth mindset. It is so imperative because we're in this world right now where things are changing rapidly, okay? In the short time, look, 2016 on my shirt, that's how long I've been in this business, okay? I've seen a bunch of stuff, okay? My wife, 23 years, she's seen twice as much. Like, this stuff is changing rapidly, and we have to be able to basically adapt to what's going on in the market and quickly make adjustments. Because what worked 4 years ago does not work today. Right. And I think some people are a little caught up on how things used to be, kind of like talking about the high school days. Oh, do you remember when we won the championship?
Right.
Well, yeah, that was a long time ago. This is a different game.
So, and I do see that and in every conversation I have with you, because even you were talking about, let's get me in touch with your lender. But then you have already taught that agent, let your lender talk about these things. Don't get into territory that shouldn't be talking about or that's potentially could confuse your customer. Let that professional talk about that. You talk about this. So there's this education that as a single agent, I might not be having somebody whispering that in my ear. And I love single agents. That's not what I'm trying to say. And the majority of the businesses, individual agents, learning from each other and having great success. Right now on this version or the episode of the podcast, though, I want to unpack those benefits that you get, because a team leader or a mentor, somebody sitting there whispering in your ear and giving you coaching of don't maybe not talk about that and stay focused on helping them with, hey, this is your dream, your picture. If we help make that happen for you, would you be happy? Okay, let's figure out how to do it. So how do you actually teach that, though, to your team members about what to do, what not to do? How to get better, a little better? How are you doing that? Well, what could I expect?
Like right now, for example, we've done like a 4-part series on how to talk to people. Okay, and what's interesting is that people on the team, like they're really getting it. Okay, because again, there's different profiles of clients that you work with, and what emotions are they going through, and how do you talk to them, and we're going through it, and I've been, kind of driving that point home, because let's face it, typically once you get in front of someone and you start showing them houses, the odds are you're probably going to end up selling the house, okay, at that point. But it's getting to those clients, whether they're leads, open house, sphere, it doesn't matter. They're all the same, okay? And so we've been in this like 3-4 part series where I'm really driving the point home, and we actually had a couple visitors come in the other day, because I always have open trainings on Thursdays. Sure. Anyone can come attend, okay? No expectations, you're not going to be locked in a back room and have to sign a contract with the Panozzo team. Unless you want to, but no. Right. So this gal goes, I've been in this business 20 years. I've never had anyone break it down like you did. And everyone else on my team was like, okay, hey, we get this every week. Right. Okay. Right. Not toot my own horn, but see, that's the difference we're making, because what we were taught in how to talk to a client and how to do it now, 2 different ball games. That's an old playbook, okay? Right. We have a new playbook now. And again, like, I'm driving this point home, because here's the thing. You have to be right there on the edge. And I'm not saying on the edge of technology. I'm talking about you rising to the occasion and learning the craft on how to talk to people. Well, Dave, I've sold houses. I know what I'm doing. Yeah, but do you really?
Well, but again, it's also about unpacking and what the client wants, understanding what they want, and then helping them do it and helping them get off the sideline. Because I know plenty of customers right now that they know what they want. They're just still sitting on the sideline. And They're sitting on the sideline partially because of belief. They don't believe they can get it done.
Right.
They don't know how to get it done.
Right.
And that's where what I see you teaching your agents is number one, yes, you are teaching them how to get it done, how to overcome the obstacles, how to overcome the barriers, and how to help them, but also the belief of that they can help their customer get it done.
Right. And I think also too, it's like, one question that I tell everyone, you got to ask this question before you start working with a client, because if you don't ask this one particular question, it can backfire. And that is, Todd, what do you know about the market right now? You have to ask the client, what do you know about the market? Because what they're thinking and what you're about to say, you could miss the boat, right? Okay. And as agents, we always want to step on the soapbox.
So, give me 2 scenario responses. Client 1 says,
well, interest rates are high and, there's not a lot of inventory.
Okay.
So now, they're reading headlines off of some social media post or whatever is out there.
Doom scroller.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Or, I'm hearing that there's going to be a crash and I'm just going to wait this out because once the crash happens, then I'm going to be able to pick up a house because, the interest rates are definitely going to drop. I'm like, okay,
right.
Let's get the bong out. And
right. Well, and how many people 5 years ago wish they would have bought a home back then, but they thought there was going to be, they were in that mindset back then. And they're still in that mindset today. And I just think it's important because if the customer wanted to hear it, I could explain to them about the flaws in that thinking versus what they really do need to know, right? I'm not going to go into that in detail right now.
Correct.
But I guess...
But see, we have
I'm
to be
learning from you right now. Your key is you have to know what to talk to them about.
Correct.
To help them make the shift to be proactively moving forward, because if you don't get them overcome those barriers even in their own mind, they'll just never move forward.
Because a lot of times what happens is we have this little thing that we want to say, kind of like this blanket clause that just goes across.
Right.
Well, if I don't know what they think about the market and I go into my spiel, I'm either going to put them asleep because it doesn't pertain to what they're thinking, or it's completely left field. And now all of a sudden they're like, yep, just another salesperson just running their lips. Yeah. Those salespeople, they love to talk, Right. So again, that's how I look at it.
Well, that's why I'm proud of you, and I'm also trying to get others to hear what you're saying, because just with the topic you were talking about, my heart breaks for many young people that I know that 5 years ago I did try to talk to them about purchasing a home, and they didn't. And then now I see them 5 years later, and I should have listened to you. I should have bought a home. But it makes me feel like I should have gone to the Panozzo Academy to know, because I obviously did not articulate it enough that they took action.
Here's a great story.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, 100%.
Right.
100%. I want to share this story with you, agents, so that you realize the power that you have in order to help someone with the purchase of a home. So this was like 4 or 5 years ago, okay? And again, prices were a lot less and the interest rates were a lot low, okay? And this person was him-hawing on the fence of purchase, first-time home buyer, by the way, okay? Of buying a home for like $380,000, okay? Like, who would love that right now, okay?
Yes.
Single family in a nice area, okay? Right. So we ended up putting the deal together, okay? And they're like, oh, thank you. The typical, oh my God, if it wasn't for you, all that stuff, right? That's not where I'm going with this. 4 years later, same individual called me. I'm getting goosebumps. They said, listen, my mom at the time was getting really, really ill, and she had to go into long-term care. And we didn't have any money. But the way that I got the money was by doing a line of credit on my house, because the appreciation had gone up so much that we were able to afford to put her in long-term care. I started crying.
Commendable.
I literally started crying when I'm like, I am so sorry. I'm
right.
So here's the thing. If I wouldn't have taking that person around the block and break down everything there is to know about purchasing a home and being the voice and the coach, the mentor of everything with this client, what could have happened to their mother?
Right. No. Right.
Okay? Like, that's some cool stuff.
That is very cool stuff.
And again, like
goosebumps.
I know. And so we have that ability as salespeople in our industry to literally change lives.
Yes. And how do they look at you today?
Oh,
with, you took care of them. You helped them. You served them. We always talk on the podcast about serving.
Yeah.
And what better way that you served them and served the whole family, because then they had the ability to do that. What 100%. I was saying was commendable was the commendable action of just even doing that to care for your loved one like that. But the fact that you had set it up so they had the ability to do that.
And by no means did we think that was gonna.
You didn't have no clue. You didn't have a clue.
It was a byproduct of really taking care of the client and going that extra mile to break it down to show them here's what it takes to buy a home.
Right.
And see, that's okay. So, again, it's getting back to the basics. We are caught up in a world right now with technology, CRMs, AI, all this stuff. It just comes down to the basics. Mm-hmm. Comes down to the basics, and doing open houses. Ooh. Hey, open houses, guys, gals.
Right.
Listen, I'm telling you, low-hanging fruit out there. Okay, the consumer is onto our game right now. They don't want to sign a buyer broker. They want to go walking around checking things out. Okay, they want to go kick tires without someone breathing down their neck. So guess what? Hold those open houses. Learn how to talk to someone in person. Make them feel good about you.
Right.
Because I'm telling you, our agents on the team, they're doing really good.
So
open houses.
Are your agents that from a year ago to today, are they better because of doing open houses?
1,000%. Because it's another pillar of business, right? You have to have multiple pillars of business. And that's one cool thing about on a team is, yes, team leads, that's one pillar. You also have your sphere, that's another pillar. And then all of a sudden you go over here to open houses. Now all of a sudden that's 3 different pillars of business instantly, okay? That you can fish from. And so again, that gives you the higher opportunities of being able to create a sale. And again, I remember watching my wife. She did that by herself for 14 years. Right. That was old school referrals. Me giving her deals from the car business. I'm like, hey guys, you got to use my wife if you're buying a house. That kind of stuff.
Right. Okay. So 2 quick stories I want to hear from you. Number 1. Tell me a story about an agent whose life is remarkably different today. Don't say names, but just tell me their story about before Panozzo team, where they are today.
There's a few, but I will talk about one. Early, mid-50s. She's been with us now, coming up on 4 years. Had been an agent for about 4 or 5 years when she came to us. Mm-hmm. Had to unpack some bad habits and things like that. And she knows what to do, but was always very like, what the hell's going on with you? Finally found out it was because she was unorganized. I said, listen, where are you right now? I said, where are you? Well, I'm driving down Pima and I go, okay, there's a Target at the Pavilions right off of Pima and the 101. I want you to pull in there, go to Target and go get a day planner. I want the old school day planner, the big one, where it has Monday through Sunday when you open it up so you can see the whole thing. Okay, I want you to text me once you've purchased that day planner.
Okay.
She sends me a text like 23 minutes later. Okay, now bring that day planner in tomorrow and we're going to sit down and we're going to do a full breakdown. She was disorganized. So what would happen is that she had all of her clients, her daughters. She also helps her mom and her brother. So it was crazy, like all the stuff, like such an amazing woman in what she does for her family. And then you flip it over to what she does for her clients is even more amazing. So she had all this craziness just running through her head. I got her organized so that she had like, okay.
Right.
And it got to a point to where she got so organized, her sales started to go like this. And what was really cool is she ended up doing a $4.2 or $4.3 million deal. And see, what I didn't share with you was she had a beat up car. And her brakes, you had to pump them a couple times in order for the car to stop.
Right.
And so with that $4.2 million sale, she was able to purchase a new car. And like the feeling of that, to see that happen, woo!
That's awesome.
Juice.
That's awesome.
Juice.
That's great.
That's that juice life, man. Like
Right.
God's just looking down on you going, woo!
Right.
Really cool. Really cool stuff.
This has been a great podcast. One more story. A customer who just was hitting every wall, who just didn't feel like they were gonna be able to buy. They didn't believe they would ever own. And you or one of your team members helped them, and how you did it, and their story, how you, no matter how long it took. Do you have a customer that, without saying names again, just a general story of?
There's a couple. I mean, there's a few of them. I think, with the rates when they were low, and then they jumped up.
Right.
A couple people got kind of caught in the crosshairs there. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of fell asleep, and then all of a sudden overnight prices start shooting up, and so on and so forth. And so we had some clients that were coming in from out of state, and they wanted to be closer to their family. And literally we just hung on to them. Okay. Like they went quiet for a while and got really discouraged. So what happened is that we had to do a sit down. And I told the agent, I said, just hang on. What's going to come out of my mouth is probably going to freak you out more than them, but I'm going to go deep on this. And I'm going to get down to some deep feelings that these people are going to have, because we have to get that out of the way so that we can move forward. And so the conversation was basically, hey, listen, when you guys first started, the rates were 3%, the prices weren't so bad, and now here you are. I know you're probably beating yourself up inside, and it's probably created some friction between the two of you. And they looked at each other and started doing a little head shaking. And I know the agent was newer, and she was just like, what is going on? Like, I went deep.
It's real conversation. What you were talking about.
Yes.
And that's what I'm trying to unpack with the story.
Yeah.
This is an example of that.
Yeah, this isn't like...
it pays it off.
This isn't like, here's 3 easy hacks to close a client.
Right.
Like,
Keep
no.
Going. No. That's hard. That's a hard conversation to have.
Very difficult.
Okay.
And so I had to break it down and go to that feeling of disgust of basically what they had, because here they are trying to be closer. And again, it's part of their fault too for not acting, but sometimes people just don't jump into the deep end.
But that's also in the rear view. That's not going to help them today.
Correct.
Help them come to terms with it. Keep going.
Correct. So it was a conversation where I had to go hit the hot spot of they were just beating themselves up. And it was almost like they were almost like a team member. Like I'm like, hey, it's all right, you lost that deal, but come on, get back out there. But I had to basically build them back up and say, hey, listen, guys, even if you would have purchased then, and you've gone a little quiet over the last year or so, but look at what's going on in the market now. Like the opportunity is still there. We're still getting decent appreciation. You guys are still looking in Scottsdale, which, location. And so I had to slowly bring them back up to where they felt good. Not great, just good, right? They had to feel good about, okay, now we have an even playing field. And they're like, let's get back out there and look. And Dave, thank you. Like, we appreciate that. So, again, gals, this is the stuff that they don't teach you in Real Estate 101. This is called being a human, being a good person, and having to have these conversations. And they are difficult. They're difficult.
Well, this has been a masterclass in having conversations and in serving clients, because at the end of the day, you took care of them and you did serve them. And that's why I enjoy working with you, because you have that mindset, you have that heart, and your agents do too. So that's what we were trying to unpack from today, is how can we help more people like that? And how can we learn how to have those difficult conversations? And if I would have gone to the Panozzo Academy a couple years ago, maybe some of those young people that still have not bought, I would have learned how to articulate.
You'd have a PhD right now.
We're maybe you'll see me in one of your classes here, even so I can help more agents learn how to do that. That's what we wanted to do today. So,
awesome.
All right, awesome. You also gave some great ideas about, your sphere, your open houses. Okay, so just real quick, summer 2025. If they apply the things they just learned from you, though, are there some specific? There's no magic pill. It's doing the work, but is there an idea or two that you could share with agents right now that you're having your team members do?
Okay, right now. Okay, this whole sphere thing, right? Oh, you got to go to your sphere, right? Whether you're newer or older in the business, okay? Everyone's like, let's get sphere deals, right? They know, like, and trust you. Here's the secret. Stop selling your sphere. It's not your sphere that you want. It's your sphere's sphere, okay? So, if Todd is my good friend, this is how it would go down. I'm not going to do the typical, hey, Todd, are you thinking about buying or selling? Because, real estate's a little slow for me and I need a paycheck. No. Here's what you say. Hey, Todd, I've been in real estate for a couple years, and, things are actually, the market's really interesting right now. And I've been helping a lot of people buy and sell homes. I need to ask you a favor. Okay. Now this is where Todd's going, oh shit. He's gonna ask me if I want to buy or sell. But no, it's this. Todd, who do you know right now? Maybe some of your coworkers or friends or family. Are any of them thinking about doing anything in real estate in the next 6 to 12 months? See, I'm planting a seed in Todd's head, okay? I'm going to water it a little bit so that when he's out and about talking to his sphere people and his family and friends and the word real estate pops up, guess who Todd's going to think of? Me. That's how it's done. Stop going directly to your sphere contacts and hitting them up. If you haven't been in the industry for a while, they're kind of like, I used this analogy the other day. If I just got my PhD and I got certified as an open heart surgeon, and I'm like, hey, Todd, I can operate on hearts now. Do you want me to operate on you? You'd be like, hell no. Can you get a few patients under your belt before you cut me open? The same goes with us in real estate. Just because you're licensed, just because you're an agent does not mean that you are all in at this point. They want to test you. They want to test you out and see if you're okay.
But that's actually another great thing about a team, is that when you are newer with fewer transactions under your belt, a team comes alongside you and they not only give you that additional credibility, but also they're going to make sure you're doing it right, because on your first couple transactions,
100%,
and so it really is so valuable.
Well, you can leverage the team with the stories that you hear to say things like, someone on the team last week had a client that blah, 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 or, oh, this happened last month, and you can use those stories as your own because you're a part of a team.
Love that.
Cool.
Okay, so to just emphasize your point, and then we'll wrap it up. I know of an agent who did exactly what you were doing, and it was a mind shift for them because they had come from someone had told them of calling all of their friends, and their friends, didn't even want to talk to them anymore. And what it really came down to is that mind shift. And when he started to do that, what happened was it was almost the 7 degrees of Kevin Bacon. 7 degrees of separation. It was. I'm going to see if I get this right, but it was their person that they talked to had a brother who was having lunch with a coworker whose sister was getting engaged. So that's like 5 degrees of separation that the next thing you know, they needed help, but they didn't know who to talk to. And it was, this person who knew this person who knew this person who knew this, who had a need right now of getting married and needing a place to live together as a new married couple.
Isn't that cool?
It is really cool.
That's how it works.
And it was a servant type thing that it came out of versus trying to sell.
Yes.
So that's what I thought was really cool, which I feel like we've unpacked 20 different ways. My point is, if you are an agent and you want to learn, and with no commitment even to joining a team, get with the Panozzo Academy.
Absolutely.
Because you're constantly doing teaching. You said you're welcome to show up. Now, I don't know about virtually, but it's here in Scottsdale. Just talk to them and see if they can help. But additionally, just apply the concepts and the principles that you've heard today and go after it, but go with the intent of serving and helping, and then get after it.
You have to. Listen, you've heard some things today and it's like, oh yeah, that's cool, or yeah, I've heard that before. Hey, listen, if you've done the old, yeah, I've heard that before, and you're not doing it, this is your reminder to do it, okay? And again, like every Thursday at noon, we have an open training. Guys, gals, you're more than welcome. Come by. Water, energy drinks, coffee. We even have some snacks, okay? Like, we don't play around when we train. Like, we train to train, okay? Because it's important, because when you get out there in front of a client, it's showtime, baby, and you have to be ready.
I know this is the very final thing. Kim, your wife,
yes.
Kim Panozzo, big part of the Panozzo team.
You know it.
Anything that she would have said that we didn't say today, or something that you love hearing her say that helps agents? Just since she's not here, I wanted to bring Kim into it.
Okay, so if Kim would have been here, probably one thing is you have to over-deliver. You have to have unprecedented, like, customer service hospitality. Okay?
Right.
Like, I know people go, I give everyone 100%. You got to give 110. You got to give 120%. Like, every single time. Dave, on every single deal.
I remember Kim talking about from stage at Growth Summit about climbing over a fence in a dress to do something that
she got locked
done.
out.
Okay, that needed done. But that's an example of the over and above.
You do whatever it takes.
So,
because if you don't, someone else will.
Love this. All right. So, audience, we hope you've enjoyed today's podcast, the Real Estate Podcast. Dave Panozzo of the Panozzo team, the Panozzo Academy. Also, Kim. So, Dave and Kim together, just top agents.
Thanks
building
for having
the
me.
The Panozzo team.
This was cool.
Thank you. This has been great.
Yeah.
And so, listen to this podcast, rewind, listen again, rewind, go apply, go do what you need to do, but take action.
Yeah.
And we hope that this benefits you, helps you grow your business and serve your clients better. Thanks for joining us today on the Real Estate Podcast. I'm Todd Sumney.
And I'm Dave Panozzo.
And this has been great. We'll see you back on future episodes. Give us a big thumbs up if you liked it. Give us some feedback in the comments.
Shoot some comments, man.
Feedback.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's know. All right. Take care, guys. See you later.
This is The Real Estate, where real pros level up. Follow and subscribe on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify so you never miss an episode. Join the conversation and send your questions to The Real Estate at HomeSmart.com. If you got value, share it with a colleague.